Welcome to EMTalk. These are the stories of saving lives from the people who saved them. This episode, sports injuries, overcoming obstacles. Here to discuss saving lives is licensed paramedic, your host, Juddson Smith.
Hey, this is Juddson Smith with EMTalk. We are here for another awesome episode. Today, you'll see I have a bunch of different guests. But before I start introducing my guests, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to a couple of our sponsors. We got Texas EMS School always sponsoring the Headcast, and we just got a new sponsor, and that is Heavies. It's a headphone company for metalheads. They make super high quality headphones with like 8 different speakers in them, subwoofers, all sorts of cool stuff. And they've started supporting first responders, and so they wanted us to give them a shout out today. So today I have my baseball team. I have 2 different parts of my baseball teams. Most of my extra or free time is spent with young athletes doing baseball. That's what I do with all of my free time. And so we made a deal for my 13U team, and we'll talk about what the name is and everything. If they won this one tournament we were at, I told them I would put them on the podcast. And sure enough, they turned around and won the whole thing. And so I had to carry that out. And so the 13U Jokers are with us today, as well as a few members of the 9U Jokers. The whole 9U Jokers team will be invited if they can win a tournament as well. And then we'll do a podcast with them, or we play a bunch of different games. So this is part of the team. It's not everybody, but I'm going to introduce or let these boys introduce themselves, and we'll get going. Don't be weird about it. Introduce yourself.
My name's Josiah. I'm 13 and I go to Madison Middle School. I play outfield and pitcher, and yeah.
I'm Grant and I play left field.
I'm Jackson. I kind of play like every single position.
That's true.
I'm Isaiah and I play outfield.
And pitcher.
I'm Riley and I play third and pitcher.
Third and pitcher. Send it to Jax. Ellie is over here on the side. Ellie is my daughter, and she is also going to be on the podcast. So Ellie, say hi.
My name is Jackson. I play left field and third base and pitcher.
There we go.
My name's Jackson and I play left field and
Right field. And second base. Third. And catcher.
I'm Jay, and I play center and second.
That's right. And first.
I'm Zayden. I play left field.
I'm Eli and I play second.
Yes, we legitimately only put Eli at second because he's like the best second baseman that ever lived. We have named Eli a bunch of different names because he just sucks the ball up there at second. And so it was Hoover, Dirt Devil. I think right now it's Taz. At one point it was Rambo because we couldn't think of what else to call you. But I have this thing where I give all the boys nicknames. So I'm going to tell you their nicknames that I've given them over time. So we've got Rock, because his last name is Ocon. His first name starts with an R, which I think I want to rename you Recon. I think that's way cooler sounding. And then we've got Isaiah, which he just goes by Zay. And he's been called that for a long time. I didn't give him that one. Cowling here, I started calling him Easy E recently just because he picked an Easy E song for his walk-up, but usually we call him Moo Moo. And then Grant, we call G Breezy because he's fast. And his last name is Brazel. And then Josiah over there, everybody calls him JoJo except for the head coach or manager of the team, which his name is Coach Jeezy. He calls JoJo Yo-Yo. And so on the lineup, he goes as Yo-Yo. Over here, Eli, I told you he's got several different names. Right now it's Taz. And then back here is Zayden Gallegos, and his last name spells out Legos, so we just call him Legos. And then we've got Jet. We call Jetty Jet. His parents have been calling him that for a long time. Jackson, we call Jackie Boy. I think Pops gave him that name, and that's his grandpa. No, who gave you that name? Jeezy gave you that name. All right. And those two right there, the two ones in the middle, those are his little brothers. And then that one right there is mine, and he's that kid's little brother. And his name is Jax, but we call him Jaxie. And then Ellie, you're not on the team, and you go by Ellie. There we go. So pretty easy. So anyways, nicknames are always a thing in sports. And so it's just something stupid I do to give the boys names. And then they just let me do it, and they don't complain about it usually. Except for Neil. Neil complains about his name anytime I give him something. So y'all convince Neil to just go with it and just get called whatever I call him. All right, boys. So the way we're going to do this, I'm going to ask you guys different questions, and you guys are just going to kind of answer and talk to me about those different things, okay? Y'all look real nervous and weird. So try to stop doing whatever that is and just look normal. All of this is not live, so there's nobody watching it right this minute. You're just talking to me and hanging out in here, and I happen to be wearing headphones and talking into a microphone. So, the Jokers. Who was on the team when we first started being the Jokers? All right, we got 2 in here that are original Jokers members, and then who else was on it when we? Anybody else in here? Yeah, Eli came like almost immediately after we formed the Jokers, like in the middle of the season or something. So some of you guys have been Jokers since the beginning. The Jokers name, for those of you that didn't know, does anybody know where we got that name? Besides the ones that have already been on it. G Breezy, what do you think? The movie? You mean the one with Joaquin Phoenix? No, I'm never naming anything after that movie. That movie sucked. We are not sponsored by the Joker movie. Anybody? No. Okay. So, Jojo, how do we get that name? Jeezy's the one that suggested it. And then we took a vote, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I think something that I'm going to give you guys a behind the scenes look at what really happened there. I'm pretty sure somebody cheated on that vote. Because there were like 300 votes and only like 10 people that wanted to vote. So I don't know how that happened. I know I didn't do it. I don't think Jeezy did it, but somebody did. And no, don't tell. I actually do know who did it, but I'm not going to say nothing. Because we used to be this team called the Crush. And when we were the Crush, we were trash. We were just absolute dog water. And then we became the Jokers, and all of a sudden we were still dog water. And then we practiced real hard, and now we're just kind of dog water. The boys, if you don't know anything about travel baseball, that's what they play. They play select travel baseball. So we go all over Texas, and mostly in the DFW, but sometimes down south. And we play baseball, and we play the best of the best teams. We play in tournaments that are open a lot. And those tournaments mean that it could be teams that are ranked as D3 teams or teams that are ranked as D2 or D1, and D1 is the highest. I think we're still ranked as a D3 team, but I think that'll change. We keep winning games like we've been winning against these other ranked teams. We'll be up there soon. And so these boys compete regularly with these teams that are technically on paper supposed to be higher ranked than them, and they perform really well, and they're all really good at baseball. Who do you guys think is the best player on the 13U Jokers?
I don't think there's a really best player. I think we're all good.
That is such like a Sunday school answer. I think we all love each other. Oh, he thinks his big brother is the best. And he thinks his big brother is. Who is? Oh, wow, that was messed up, Jet. Riley's the best? That's not true.
I think y'all were.
I like it. Riley, who do you're the one that's come in the most recent. Who do you think is the best?
I like Jax because he's like the most utility player.
Okay.
He can pretty much play everywhere.
Talking about Cowling?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're definitely not the best player on the team, but you are the most useful. Nah, I think you guys are all right. You can just hold it down to the side if you're not using it. Don't put it on the ground like a weirdo. Just it's like there you go, like that, G Breezy. Okay, so yeah, I think I agree with G Breezy and Eli. You guys have learned to work really well together, and I think that's why we're doing good this season. Is you guys have just been together and played so hard together that all of a sudden it's just clicking a lot. You guys have always been good, but I would say y'all are probably as good as you've ever been this season. Y'all think so? Yeah, y'all are doing some crazy stuff. Y'all be making some insane plays. Pitching is off the charts. You're hitting the ball. I think I counted, we had 11 hits in one of our games this last weekend. We only played for like an hour and a half, and y'all still got 11 hits out of it, which is pretty good in a baseball game. So, especially with a bunch of kids pitching. So, little jokers, 9U jokers. Who's the best hitter on your team?
Croy.
Troy?
Hudson.
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 You know, if you actually look at the numbers, I don't think any of those are the best hitter on your team. I think right now JM is the best hitter on your team if you look at the stats. So wrong. Just wrong. All right. Let's see. So you got to think that a lot of the people that are listening to this podcast, they're students of mine, they're in EMS. They don't really know, maybe don't know a whole lot about how this works. So at 13 years old, what's the fastest you've ever seen somebody pitch? 70? High 70s? You think you guys have seen somebody pitch high 70s?
I've seen high 60s.
You've seen 80? That's pretty wild. Use the mic. Yeah, use the mic. Talk loud and use the
Probably
mic.
like high 60s.
High 60s?
Like 70.
70?
70.
70?
Like high 70s to 80s.
High 70s to 80s. That is insane. Jojo, what do you think?
High 60s.
High 60s? I think that's probably more realistic.
Yeah, I think also like high 60s or 70.
Yeah.
High 60s.
Yeah.
60. High 70s.
At a 9U game? Wow, boys. 40s? That's more realistic. I think some of the 13U pitchers y'all face are barely throwing 50. No, I would say right now, what we're seeing at most of our tournaments, you guys are seeing pitchers throw about high 60s, low 70s. I think maybe the fastest you guys have seen at one of the tournaments that we've been to recently is probably mid 70s, if that. And that's not like consistent. That's like maybe they threw one pitch that was real hard. Y'all realize that's pretty fast. I mean, there were high schoolers back in the day that were barely throwing that. And you guys are not even there yet, and you're still able to keep up with that. I think probably on our team, I think Cowling probably has about the highest velocity on our team. Cowling and Riley do. Cowling makes the best sound when he pitches the ball. Every time. You don't know that he did it right if he didn't go like a male Serena Williams or something, right? Anyways, it's pretty crazy though, because y'all think most of you started playing travel when you were like 9, right? 8 or 9 years old. 10. I know Jojo started at 9U. I know Isaiah started at 9U. Jax 9U. Any of you start at 8U or younger? Jet started at 7U was the first time you played. And then 8U and 9U. Anybody else? No, not younger than 9U. So a 9U pitcher probably throws, Jax is probably right, probably high 30s, mid 40s, if that. Every now and then, I think Zayden's little brother can probably throw like high 40s and maybe 50. His little brother's pretty dope. He's also going to start playing with us, which is cool. So, anyway, so the ball comes really fast is my point. So, raise your hand if you've ever been hit by a pitch. Okay, that's what I thought. Ellie, I think even you've been hit by a pitch in softball. All right, so does it hurt?
Not that bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right, Ellie. You're supposed to pass the mic around. Okay, so here's what I want you guys to do. I want you one by one to tell me the worst time you've been hit by a pitch, where it hit you, and how bad it hurt. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad did it hurt?
I got hit in the ribs, and it hurt like a 8.5.
And who was there when you got hit in the ribs?
Jose Trevino.
Jose Trevino, that's
Catcher
right.
for the Yankees.
Catcher for the losing World Series team, the Yankees.
I got hit in the neck and it hurt bad.
I got hit in the neck.
It was probably like a 6 out of 10
Yeah, it probably did hurt pretty bad. When was that?
when I played tenure.
10U? All right.
I got hit in the butt cheek and it's already bruised.
When was that?
like 11U.
I got hit like in the back and it hurt.
Okay, so 10 is the worst. Okay, so when we go to patients, like when I deal with patients that I see on the ambulance, we always ask them, how bad is your pain? Scale of 1 to 10. 10 is the worst pain you've ever felt in your life. So you would think like if you lost your arm, that would be the worst pain ever or something, right? So scale of 1 to 10, how bad?
Probably a 5. Yeah, like a 5.
Like a 4-3.
Okay, and Jojo already answered. Bring it back to Riley.
I got hit in the rib, and it was about like a 6, I guess.
It hurts bad to get hit in the ribs.
I got hit in the head, and I think it's like probably 5.
Probably a 5. Okay.
I got hit in the helmet, and it does not even hurt.
That's right. That's what a man says.
I got hit in the wrist, and it did not hurt.
Oh my gosh. Jeezy totally trained y'all to say that.
I got hit in the ribs and it hurt about a 6.
I got hit in the shin and it probably hurt about a 6.
The shin. It does hurt to get hit in the shin, though. You ever been hit in the shin by the machine? It's like just a dead shot right in the middle of it when you get hit by in the shin by the machine. You want to say?
Mhm.
Okay, go ahead.
I got hit on my chest.
And how bad did it hurt?
A 7.
A 7. Jeez. Like an alligator biting your arm off. Okay, so how many of you guys have had a concussion? And was it from football or baseball?
Straight.
It's from football. So that still matters. Tell me what it feels like to have a concussion.
You see black dots.
Black dots. What else? Does your head hurt?
Yeah, the back of your head hurts.
And what about your stomach? Do you feel like you're gonna throw up?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
If you don't eat.
Okay. Did it make you sleepy?
Yes.
Was it hard to walk straight?
For a little bit.
How long you think?
Like maybe a day.
A day? How long did you see the spots?
For like almost a week.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty bad. So do you guys know what a concussion is?
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. Legos, tell us about yours.
I seen stars and
Like a cartoon, there were just stars in there.
and it felt like dizzy and like the light, like it could hurt your head.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was gonna throw up, and it made me feel sleepy.
Okay. So both of you felt pretty much the same there. Okay, so a concussion is when you get hit hard enough that your brain bounces into the side of your skull. Okay, so it moves it around. Your brain is surrounded by a bunch of muscle tissue and a skull, like a layer of bone. Okay, and so you get hit hard enough, and inside of there, it goes like this. It goes like that. It shakes in there. And so that causes bruising on your brain, which is what causes all that stuff to happen. So if you think it's pretty dangerous because sometimes it can cause damage that doesn't go away ever. It can cause permanent brain damage when you guys get those concussions. So when your coaches or your athletic trainer or us, when we're like, hey, chill out, don't do anything, that's why they're telling you that. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you end up with permanent brain damage and never get to be the same again. You may never get to play again. So concussions are a big deal. You see it all the time in the NFL. They'll go out for like a whole week or two sometimes with a concussion. It just depends on how bad it is. And there's different levels of concussions. So like there's a level 1, level 2, level 3, and it just keeps going up. Okay, so who here has broken a bone or a joint? So a joint is like the part that makes it move and rotate. So like your elbow. Yeah, but did you break it? Okay, so we'll come back to that then. Okay, G Breezy, what'd you break?
I got like a hairline fracture in my knuckle.
Was that from football? Boys are seeing a pattern here. If you just stick to baseball like you're supposed to, you'd be fine. And so what did that feel like? What does it feel like when you break something?
It hurts a lot.
Wow, so descriptive. Does it hurt like heavy weight on you, or does it hurt like sharp?
Like it hurts like both kind of.
Both kind of? Okay. I've broken a bone. Have you guys ever noticed that my arm is crooked?
Nope. Yeah.
Look at that. Here.
My dad's broken leg.
Your dad broke his tib fib, right? Your ankle?
Yeah.
Do y'all know what that is? Where your tibia and your fibia is?
It's like
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. These right there. All right. And what's this? Do y'all know what this is?
Thigh.
What bone is there? Femur. Good job. All right. So if you break your femur, that's considered to be one of the worst pains that a person can ever experience. I've seen 4 or 5 femur breaks, and the bone goes like this. So your bones are like this, they're nice together, and then all of a sudden it breaks and the bone goes and slips over the other one. And so this sharp piece of bone is just cutting muscle and vessels all inside of your leg, and it's tearing it up. It hurts really bad. And so what we do when we try to fix it, or when we try to make it hurt less, one, we give them a whole bunch of like narcotics to dull the pain. But then we take this thing called a traction splint, and it pulls the foot that way and keeps the hip right here. And then it pulls the 2 bones apart. And so we pull until it pulls those 2 bones apart, and then we tie it off like that. And so it holds the bones like this instead of on top of each other. It's gross looking. What? Oh, okay. We'll pass it around. Somebody over here had another hand up. Jojo, you've broken something. What'd you break?
I broke my pinky trying to catch a football one-handed,
Again, darn football.
and it turned pink instantly, and it hurt super bad.
Yeah, I was there. Who else? Break. Oh, Ellie, you broke something. Tell us about it.
Do I just say?
Yeah, talk like loud.
I broke my arm. Well, was it my arm?
It was your wrist, yeah.
My wrist, and I was on my brother's back, and he thought I was off, and so he dropped me on the floor, and I broke it.
That's true. Yep, it was all his fault.
And then I broke it again at pre-K because I saw some kids jumping off stuff.
And so you decided to jump too. Yeah, her arm looked like this. It went like an S.
Yeah, it looked like an X.
It was gross. You got one too? Yeah, tell us about it. Let's hear about it. I like hearing about it. Breaks are cool.
I guess my cousin, he goes out Corda. His name's Easton.
Like they know what that is.
Okay. Well, he was playing football, I guess, and he fell down. Probably he broke his wrist like over.
Hold the microphone closer to your face.
It was like his wrist was right here. Like.
Yeah, I saw a picture of it. It was pretty gross. I'm gonna see if your aunt and uncle will let me put it up in the podcast and show that X-ray because it's gross looking. It looks bad. Cadell's not here. which I thought he would be. Cadell's hilarious. Y'all are missing out by not having Cadell here because he says the most off the wall nonsense. He just says whatever he's thinking, and it's awesome. Cadell broke his shoulder. He broke a piece of his shoulder off. Corbin, y'all know Corbin. Most of y'all know Corbin. Lease, he broke his collarbone recently. A lot of breaks in football. It happens all the time. You guys ever? So you have injured your elbow, Moo. You injured your elbow, pitching, right? So tell us about that. What happened?
It just was just like tingly. I don't know. Like my arm tingled.
Explain what you were doing.
I was pitching and then it just started tingling.
I was there, and then it started to hurt. Yes.
Oh yeah, I was throwing sidearm.
Okay. So what does that show for anybody watching? Show what that looks like.
It's like throwing it like from like right here from your side.
Right. So like your elbow, instead of being able to go like a natural motion, like you would throw a ball, it torques and goes from the side, and that's how a lot of people hurt their elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jax, what?
One of the kids on our team, he throws sidearm, and we all tell him not to throw sidearm, and he still does it.
That's true. We do tell him that all the time. Maybe he should. No, it's JM. But it looks bad when he the first time he pitched in a game in one of our 9U tournaments was our last tournament, and he walked up and struck out like 8 people, and he had never pitched before, and it was bad because the ball comes in like this when you pitch sidearm. It just like is like a natural curve, so it's hard to hit. Okay, so let's talk about the different positions that you guys play and what you guys think is most valuable about your position. So, like, what I mean is, like, what exercise do you think would help you be better at your position? Okay, so JoJo, you're a pitcher and you're an outfielder. Occasionally, you'll play an infield position, not as common. So what is important about an outfield position? What is something you need to do to be good at that position?
Oh, you got to be fast, and you got to have. I mean, like you got to be like fast, and you got to have like good stamina so you can run and get the ball if it goes past you.
So something that our young kids think happens when you play outfield is that you're just supposed to stand there the whole time. You're never standing still in the outfield, right? You're always supposed to be doing what? Moving. That's right. Always moving. So to be an outfielder, you need to be able to run for a long time, and you need to be fast and have good stamina. You have to be able to read the ball as it comes down. It's hard to tell where that ball's going when it's in the air like that, and you have to be able to read it. And all of our outfielders are usually really good at that. Y'all don't make a whole lot of mistakes. I mean, you definitely make some because y'all are dog water, but you don't make a whole lot of them. G Breezy, your positions. You play outfield.
Yeah, I play outfield.
I talked about you being fast, right?
I feel like the best thing in outfield is reaction time, because the ball could be going somewhere that you didn't know, or it could be like in the gap, and you could have to get there.
Yeah, you have to recognize what's happening, and you have to recognize it really fast, or else you're behind.
And being fast is very good.
Yep, being fast is always being fast. Pretty much, boys. If you're fast, it's good for every sport that you can play. Eli, he'll tell you all about that. Eli, in a minute, I'm going to ask you about how you train when you run. Cowling, you play catcher. So first, tell us what do you think's important to be good at being a catcher.
Catching the ball.
What else? Look at Jeezy. He's telling you.
Oh yeah, thinking.
Yes. The catcher is generally the catcher, the pitcher, and the shortstop are going to be the 3 most intelligent, not the smartest players in the game, but they're going to be the most baseball smart players on the field because they've got to know what's happening all the time in order to make sure that ball goes where it's going. You've got to pay attention to everything, right? You got to know where all the runners are. You got to know what pitches are coming in. You got to know where this guy's about to hit the ball. You got to know where your outfielders are at. It's a hard job to catch. It's tiring too because you're always moving. If y'all were better pitchers, he wouldn't have to move so much. How about that?
I'm an outfielder and a pitcher.
Tell us about pitching. So JoJo's a pitcher, but he didn't bother to talk about it. So tell us about pitching. What do you have to be good at?
You have to be good at like throwing strikes, be accurate.
Accurate. It's all right. Accurate. Yeah.
I can't say it, but
Accurate. What do you have to do to be accurate? How do you do that?
About like throwing strikes.
Y'all have never had to explain how this works, have you? It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have to be strong.
Oh
Your
yeah.
arm has to be strong.
You have to be strong. You have to locate it. Like you have to know where you're throwing it.
Right. You have to be able to control where it goes. So something, Zay, I've watched you learn how to be a pitcher ever since you've been doing that. And something that you've always done really well is put your entire body into your pitches, which is why we like to use you so much, because the ball is not just moving from how your arm moves. You used to be a lot smaller. You used to be like the smallest kid on the team all the time. You started growing here recently. But what you did to compensate for that was you would throw your entire body into every pitch. And so your whole body motion is what's moving that ball forward, which made a big difference. And you're lefty, so that also makes a big difference. If you're a lefty, what can you watch better?
It's either you can see the runner on first base better.
Yeah, to keep him from taking off. Because that's a big thing in y'all's age group, right? Is stealing bases. People are constantly stealing bases. And so if you can catch them stealing it, it slows the game down for them. All right, Riley, talk about pitching a little bit.
Okay, so pitching, you really gotta know like where you gotta locate it, and like you gotta know where to locate the pitches on what the pitch you just threw.
How do you change where the ball goes? How do you locate a pitch? Explain that.
Honestly, for me, it's just kind of like nature, because I just like kind of look at the point and I just throw it.
So you just answered your own question. It's all about where you where you release the ball at, right?
Yeah.
So when you release the ball and finish your follow through, it's to the point where you're headed. And so that's how you control where the ball goes. And then you start adding in things like curves and sliders, and it's completely different. Because then you've just got to know where your curveball ends up when you throw it at this point. Or where you like to throw sliders, right? That's like your thing. How do you throw? Show me the grip for a slider. Zay had to show me how to throw a curveball the other day because I had no idea, because I'm an idiot.
Basically, you just kind of
should have brought a baseball.
So it's just kind of like a ball. I mean, like a curveball. So, but you just kind of stay fast. You just stay fastball until the last point, and then you just like kind of break on the side of it, and it'll get horizontal.
That's cool. It's cool. Y'all don't realize that like other people don't know these things. Like they don't know that this is how these things work. Like it's not just, oh, I walked up and threw a slider. It's like there's a whole lot that goes into knowing how to do that and doing it all the time. It's cool. So what do you think is important exercise wise? What do you think needs to be strong in order to be a good pitcher?
I think that your legs have to be strong, because your arm, it's not really about your arm. It's about your legs and your mechanics. So everything is important, but I think your legs are the most important.
That is not what I expected you to say. That's good, though. That's true. That's very good. Good job. Good job. All right, pass it around. I guess just go straight back. Jax, what do you think is important for being a pitcher? Because you're one of our go-to pitchers on our 9U team.
To have a strong arm, and your step
Okay.
should be strong, and your legs too.
Are you just copying what he just said?
No.
Oh. Okay.
And also your reflexes need to be good too.
Yeah, because the ball gets hit back at you right there at pitcher. Because for y'all, it still comes back pretty fast, but for them, that they're not that far from home plate at 9U. And so if somebody gets the ball off really hard, it doesn't take very long for the ball to get there. It's same thing for y'all, but think about back to when y'all were that little, that ball seems like it's going a lot faster than it is most of the time. Jackson, tell me about being an outfielder.
You have to be very fast to go under the ball to catch it, and put your hand under the glove so it won't fall out.
Good. What's the first thing you do when the ball's hit?
Go back.
Go back. Remember that in the game on Sunday. I better not see you go forward. Jetty Jet, What's your favorite position?
First base.
First base. Tell us about playing first base then.
I don't really know anything about first base.
That's my favorite position. I don't really know anything about it. So what do you have to do with your foot whenever the ball comes to you? Where does your foot
Put it
need to
on
be?
the bag.
On the bag. Why? Because you have to beat who?
The guy to first base.
The runner, right?
The runner.
You have to beat the runner to first base. So sometimes you have to stretch out, right?
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
have to be flexible. You have to be aware of where your feet are at all the time, so you can bring your foot back onto the base. And what you're really good at is when you dig, right? Whenever the ball hits the ground, you're really good at knowing where the ball's going to go after it hits the ground. So that's something you're real good at. Your scooping skills. Jetty jet. All right, moving on to Legos. Legos, you play outfield most of the time. Sometimes we've put you infield. Occasionally, you've pitched before. But tell us about, you're a really good outfielder. So tell us about outfield.
I feel like you have to be fast and have good stamina, and you have to pay attention and know where the ball's going.
Yeah,
And
that's true. What about your arm? Y'all have left out all of you that have explained outfield left out something big. You got to be able to throw the ball really far when you're in the outfield. Y'all think back to the plays that you guys watch in Major League Baseball. One of the most impressive things is how far they can throw the ball from the outfield. I mean, some of those dudes are throwing it from the back of the field all the way to home plate. And I mean, that's what some fields that's 340 yards or 340 feet, not yards. Sorry, 340 feet. That's a long throw. And so that's something that always impresses me with our outfielders is you guys are really accurate with your throw and you're doing it from really far away. So outfielders have to have a strong arm. That's something big. A lot of outfielders, most of our outfielders also can pitch because their arm is strong and their body's strong and they've got good control of the ball. Eli, tell us about that second base.
You have to have quick reactions. You got to be light on your feet. You got to be quick.
That's right. Eli, you're real fast. You run all the time, don't you?
Yeah.
You still run all the time?
Yeah.
So one time, the boys were not having the attitudes that we thought they should have in a tournament. It's hard. Losing's hard, and you guys are young. It's hard to deal with sometimes. But this time in particular, they had a bad attitude, and they don't usually do that. That's not usually their problem. But we decided we were going to make them run 100 laps around the baseball field, which we calculated it ended up being like 17 miles. And we made y'all do it, and y'all did it in like 2 days, I think, is what y'all ended up taking. For Eli, it took 1 day. Eli ran, I think, almost all 100 laps in the first practice in like 2 hours. Because that's what you do like with your free time is run, right? And so how much will you run just when you feel like running?
Probably just about maybe like a mile.
Well, that surprises me. What's the furthest you've ever run?
Probably like 2 miles.
And how long does 2 miles take you?
It was like 16 minutes or like 12, 14, something like that.
Pretty good. That's pretty good. So I had a friend in college, and his 1 mile time, he ran it in 4 minutes and 20 seconds. And I mean, that's like sprinting an entire mile. That's nuts. That's gonna be Eli one day. He's gonna be that kid that's running like 4-minute miles every time. It's crazy. All right. So moving on, boys, moving on. Let's talk about Major League Baseball. Let's hear about y'all's favorite players in Major League Baseball. Is it all tangled up in there? Here we go. Isaiah, the Wrangler. You're going to start? All right. So I want to know who your favorite player is, what team they play for, and why they're your favorite player, okay? Go ahead.
My favorite player has been Ronald Acuna since I was a little kid because he plays on the Atlanta Braves, and because his number is 13, he's right-handed, and he kind of plays like the exact same position, and he just kind of reminds me of me.
That's cool. Ronald Acuna Jr. reminds Josiah Smith of himself.
I like Juan Soto because he's a lefty and I'm a lefty.
Did you like Juan Soto before they won the World Series?
Juan?
I mean, before they played in the World Series, my bad.
No.
No? Okay. Just checking. Just checking.
I like the Yankees. I like Giancarlo Stanton, but I mean, I've just always liked him since I was little. So like, I don't know, and I bat like him.
You bat like him?
We're the same stance.
Oh, okay.
I like Michael Harris because he plays center field and he's a lefty. He's plays for the Braves. His number is 23.
What's his favorite color?
Black.
I'm just joking, bro. Come on. If y'all answer that question, y'all are a bunch of weirdos.
I don't even have a favorite player.
Great answer, Riley.
Let me think. Come back to me.
I'll come back to you. Ellie, do you have a favorite player? All right, let's hear it.
Well, I don't know their names, but I just have a team.
Who?
The Bananas.
The Savannah Bananas.
Yes,
Okay.
because they're funny.
They are funny.
Mine is, well, this is not my favorite team, but the Texas Rangers is my favorite team, but I don't know any of their names, so I'm just going to say other guy that I like on the Dodgers. His name is Shohei Ohtani.
Shohei Ohtani. I think everybody likes Shohei Ohtani.
My favorite player is Ozzy Albies, and his number is number 1.
What position does he play?
Second base.
And what team?
The Braves.
Man, it's weird. All the
My favorite team is the Dodgers, and I like
Ooh.
Freddie Freeman, and he plays first base.
Freddie Freeman. Nobody's ever heard of him.
My favorite team is the Astros, and my favorite player is Yordan Alvarez.
Okay.
My favorite team is the Astros, and I like Jose Altuve because you don't have to be like real big or strong to be like good at baseball.
That's good. I like that. In fact, really, only a handful of the guys you guys mentioned were really big players. Like they're not like they're not huge. Freddie Freeman's pretty big. Shohei Ohtani's pretty big.
And I like Mike Trout because he plays for the Angels and he's a center fielder. I like him because he's so consistent, even though he's been in the league a really long time.
He's been good for a really long time too. So that's true. That's not a bad answer. You guys all have certain numbers that you always pick for your jerseys and stuff. So I want to hear what your number is and why you picked it.
My number is 13. My dad picked it for me, and I had it in basketball one year because it's an odd number. And yeah.
You know why I picked it?
Why?
Because it's an unlucky number, and I like an underdog.
Yeah. And I just kept it. I just kept it because it was the age my dog died.
Oh, geez, that's depressing. Thanks, JoJo.
I chose number 1 because I don't know.
Because you are number 1.
No.
No? Just because?
Yeah.
Wow, boys, I thought there'd be more significance to some of these.
I chose number 5 because my dad and his brother were number 5, and my cousin and his brother were number 5, and so I chose number 5 because my dad and his brother were number 5 and 3 were number 5 and 3, and my little brother's number's 3, and my cousin and his brother were 5 and 3, so we're 5 and 3.
Thank you, Mumu.
I've had lots of numbers, but I have number 4 because I just like the number.
You've been number 4 for a while, though.
Well, my number is 11. I don't really have a reason, but I used to wear number 1 a lot until everybody started like stealing it. So I just pretty much gave up on that number, and I switched to that number because it was the closest, pretty much. And my brother used to always wear 11 and 1. So
Cool. You have a favorite number?
Well, I have a favorite number, but I didn't hear it.
Put the mic up.
I wore my favorite number is number 17, but what I wore was like a number 1 and
Oh my goodness. Keep
what
going.
I wore was mainly a number 1 and a number 3.
Okay. Jax?
I once, when my dad was not coaching my team, I wore number 18, but mostly I'm 13 because my brother.
I like
I've been 10 for every year. I chose that number because Chipper Jones was that number and my dad was that number.
That's a good
I never wore them because of green.
Oh.
I'm number 16 because my dad and his brother and a bunch of our family used to be 16.
I'm 29 because it's passed down from my grandpa to my dad and to me.
I love it. Okay, boys. So we're gonna start getting towards the end here, and I want to ask just one more question, really, for each of you, and then I'm gonna say some stuff, and then we're gonna get out of here. So, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a sports player or a coach, and maybe like a sports, like talk about sports on the news and all that.
Hey, if you're lucky, you can be mediocre at sports your whole life and then coach youth travel baseball.
I want to be like a lawyer when I grow up because they make pretty good money.
Not a bad choice.
Oh yeah, I want to play professional sports or be a barber or be a coach.
3 very different things. I like it.
I want to be a professional MLB player.
I want to play in the MLB, and for a job, I either want to weld or do power line.
I want to be an EMT.
I will discourage you. No, I'm just kidding.
I want to be a firefighter, and I want to be a doctor, and I want to be a professional baseball player. And one of those, and the reason I chose firefighter and a doctor is because my dad is gonna be a doctor, and he's already a firefighter.
Well,
And I love baseball.
all of those things were close to true.
I want to be a bronc rider because I want to ride a bronc horse.
Oh my gosh.
I want to be a famous MLB player because of Freddie Freeman.
I want to go to the MLB or go to the Air Force.
I want to be in the MLB or be an engineer.
I love it. Well, boys and girl, you guys can accomplish all of those things. You just have to keep working hard. What I'll say to finish off talking to you guys is the highlight of my life is getting to hang out with you guys and be with y'all in baseball. And y'all don't have any idea how much of a difference y'all make in your coaches' lives. And we could be doing anything with our time, and we're choosing to hang out with y'all and try to make y'all better at whatever it is y'all want to be. So thank y'all for letting us coach you. Thanks for coming to EMTalk and being guests on my podcast. Win some more tournaments. I think y'all have won 2 since we did that. So y'all are killing it. But I want more rings. So get me more rings. We did have some rings. I asked some of you, at last minute, asked y'all to bring stuff, but Riley brought his ring thing. The ring setup is super cool. This is a cool case for it. But this is just an example of stuff that you win at these different tournaments, medals and rings. And most of these boys have like cases full of these things at this point, and they just keep winning them. Which makes us look like we kind of know what we're doing, but really it's just them working hard. So, thanks, boys. Y'all got any last things to say? Oh boy, Jax, it was rhetorical, but do you have something?
I have won like 10 medals in my whole life,
So random.
and I won 4 rings, in my life too.
Good job.
In 9U and All Star.
No, we're gonna finish up. Okay,
Bye-bye.
we're gonna finish up, boys. Okay, so did you have something to say? Okay, one thing.
And also go 100% and try hard, do your best, and have fun playing sports.
What does Jeezy always say? It takes no talent to what?
Win.
Oh my gosh, y'all are not listening to anything. To hustle. It takes no talent to hustle. You know what? Good teams get off the field fast. I've been yelling that a lot lately because Jeezy stole it from somebody else. All right, so if you are here because you're one of our students, thanks for listening to EMTalk. If you're out there as a first responder or something else and you're interested in furthering your education or getting into the world of emergency medical services, please look us up, texasemschool.com. For now, though, I'm your host, Judd, and this has been EMTalk.
The stories about saving lives from the people that save them. This is EMTalk. EMTalk is sponsored by Heavies, headphones for metalheads, and Texas EMS School. Join Juddson Smith again next time because the life he's saving could be yours. True stories about saving lives from the people that save them. This is EMTalk. EMTalk is sponsored by Texas EMS School. Join Juddson Smith again next time because the life he's saving could be yours.